We're all aware of the dark side of social media, but what about for osteopaths? Over the years, social media has kind of been put on this huge pedestal, a place where osteopaths can go and find a whole bunch of new patients without really spending much money. We're told that social media is here to stay, that it's a powerful way for us to be able to get new patients through the door and keep in contact with current patients. But is it really? In this video, I'm going to cover the secret reality behind getting started with social media marketing for osteopaths and some of the top considerations to think about before jumping into creating your own social media channel. I've also brought together 3 amazing osteopaths who have been very thoughtful, and they have been open enough to share some of the downsides of their experience on social media, having been on the platforms of their choice for many years. Welcome back to the Van people. My name is Alan Zaya. I'm an osteopath looking to have a conversation about business, marketing, productivity, all those kind of things, specifically for us osteopaths. If that sounds like something you're interested in, consider subscribing. Let's get started with the secret reality of social media marketing. Now, undoubtedly, if you've been thinking about starting a social media channel of your own, whether that be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, or whichever one you want to go for, you've probably had a whole bunch of rocket fuel going up, you being like, yes, I'm going to do it. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to get all these new patients. I'm going to be able to keep in contact with my current patients, and I'm going to spend no money. It's going to be fantastic. But the truth is, and this is what I really want to highlight to you, is that in order to build your social media up to a point where it becomes a reliable place where you can go to consistently find new patients, and where when you do post, you're able to actually have that organic reach to keep in contact with your current patients, you've got to know that it's going to be a long journey, and it's going to take a bit more than posting a few times a week in order to get what it is that you're looking for. Consistency, consistency, consistency. You've heard it over and over again, quite literally, from probably not just me, but from other influential social media people out there as well, that it's just such an important thing to bear in mind when considering what to do and how to be successful on social media. You've got to actually post content in order to be seen, right? That sounds reasonable enough. But being able to do that over the days, weeks, months, and even years is a serious ordeal, something that I really want you to consider before jumping into getting started with social media. Here's Louise Prattley, Head of Marketing and Training at Osteo & Physio, with a YouTube channel of over 11,000 subscribers, to explain a little bit more about consistency.
So for me, the honest truth is that we had to post once a week for 2 to 3 years before we started seeing any traction with our YouTube channel.
So you've wrapped your head around the fact that it's going to take a serious amount of consistency over the years in order to have a successful social media platform working for your practice. But what about when you want to post high quality content? Surely that's going to affect the way of how often we feel like we can post, because we want to post high quality content, right? And so how is that going to affect consistency? You're absolutely right. Here is Matt Corbin of 6 Core Outcomes with an incredible Instagram following of over 4,000 people based in Melbourne.
Whenever I sit down to create the content I want to post for the month, there's a looming sense of self-doubt that what I put out there must be up to a high standard and provide plenty of value. And that's the same high standard and value I hope to provide for my patients.
Right, we now know that you have to be consistent, and you also have to block off plenty of time so you can actually create fantastic content. So what about actually getting your message out there? How do we do that? It's all about video. Now, I'm sorry with all of you who have just turned to me being like, I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate being on video. Why does it have to be this way? Well, if you really want to be able to take advantage of social media for your practice, you're going to have to really adopt and embrace the idea of video. And the reason for that is because we've got to be able to have small, digestible pieces of content that grabs our attention and holds it for long enough to be able to get your point across, and that does mean video. With that being said, does that then mean that images and memes are dead? Well, no, but it does mean that you're going very much against the grain, against the trends, against where the social media platforms are going. Instagram and Facebook are pretty much 90% video based. When you look at obvious platforms like YouTube and TikTok, they are pretty much 99% video based. And so by choosing to go with images, you're really going against the grain. Now, video has taken over social media content types so much so that image-based content reach, the organic reach in terms of how many people it actually gets out to, is basically zero, and it's getting less and less each and every year. And a pinch of common sense will tell you that these social media companies are there to make money. How do they make money? By keeping you on the platform. How do they do that? They show you more videos of things that you like, and so then in between each of those videos, it's going to be an advert tempting you in to spend your money. And so this is what they're really trying to do, is produce more video content, keeping you on the platform so that you will then see more adverts and hopefully buy more stuff through the social media channel. So whilst we're not actually a part of the advertising, so to speak, it does mean that you have to play the game, and playing the game means producing video. All right, so we're going to be smart and we're going to produce video on a consistent basis for a long time. But I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, there are more twists to come in this story. Adapting with new features. If you've been on social media for any length of time, you'll realize that features come around more often than superhero movies. From reels to guides to groups to lives to stories to story stickers to link stickers, there are so many new features that are always being announced on social media platforms. On top of all this, social media companies love pushing the newest core feature on its users. But you're probably thinking, yeah, but they can't tell me what, feature to use. I can stick to whatever works well for me, right? Well, yes, you can stick to what you're doing, but again, much like with image-based content, you're going against the grain. And so the social media platform, no matter whichever it is that you're choosing, if they've got a new feature, they want everybody on that platform to use it. And what does that mean? They're going to basically tell people that if you use this new feature, then we're going to push that content further in the algorithm. And when it's a fight for attention, when it's a fight for reach and engagement, the newest feature is always going to be top of the list with new content being created. Think back only a few years, right, when on Instagram, carousels used to be the bee's knees. Everybody was producing carousels, and that was the stuff that was getting pushed in the algorithm. Well, only in late 2020, Reels were produced, right? They started being pushed out. And now, when you have a look at carousels, the algorithm doesn't really push them that hard, and now it's all about Reels. And since we're on the verge of it being about 2.5, 3 years since Reels have been announced, it's likely that we're going to see a new superhero on our screens very soon. So there's nothing saying that the only way to build an incredible social media platform is to stick to the main feature that's in the spotlight. But what it does mean is that you're going massively against the grain, you're going against the algorithm, bit of an uphill battle, and you've got to decide within yourself if you're gonna fight that battle or not. Right, just so we're on the same page here, we have a very specific way that we can grow, and until the rules change to switch to focusing on a brand new shiny feature, we're really put in a bit of a box here. Cool. So what about when posting great content flops? So before jumping into your social media journey, it's important to know that not every piece of content that you think is great is actually going to get the recognition that it deserves. As you continue to create content, you'll learn lessons, you'll find your rhythm, you'll find a style that suits you, making each piece better than the last. That's classic progression. But what you believe to be your best piece of content might fall flat on its face. Here's owner of Osteo Allies, Anisha Joshi, with over 18,000 Instagram followers and with 7 years under her Instagram belt to explain a little bit more about posting what you believe to be fantastic content.
Engagement is very hit and miss, especially now that social media is so saturated. So if you're expecting to get lots of likes or engagements with your posts, try not to, because it's not reflective of how good you are as a therapist. Just keep going.
Alright, so we're going to keep posting video-based content over a long period of time, proper consistency, and we're going to keep our chin up by not paying attention to the amount of followers, likes, or comments that happen as we continue our social media journey. But will social media affect us in other ways? You bet. Alright, so let's talk about mental health issues. Now, of course, this is quite a light-hearted video, but I really want to kind of bring it to a point where we acknowledge how serious mental health is for everybody, not just for osteopaths. We all know the heavy link between social media usage and the development of serious mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and addiction. Here's Anisha, Matt, and Louise again, who I hope that you join me in thanking them about being so open about the mental health issues that they've experienced during their time on social media.
I'd experienced anxiety, panic attacks, and sleepless nights just because of someone's negative comment or a DM that judges my appearance or my point of view. I consider myself pretty thick-skinned, and the block button does help, but sometimes people can just get in your head.
There's always a fear of criticism whenever I post something, because when you put something out there, it's not just content, it's a little piece of you. And with anything in life, when you put yourself out there, doubt does creep in.
Oh, 100%. You absolutely should develop a thick skin if you're going to use social media to promote your business. So we've had really strange comments about, on really regular videos about appearance, sometimes sexual-based comments that do make me laugh, but also make me cringe. So, it's so important to ignore that negativity and look after yourself, definitely.
Beyond anything spoken about today, this is the most serious point. You have to question whether you believe that being on social media is worth the potential impact that it will have on your mental health. So really consider how you feel like you would cope on social media if you get to the highest heights of the 11,000 YouTube subscribers and the thousands of Instagram subscribers that's been achieved by Matt and Anisha. This isn't at a place where I'm trying to scare you off by saying you're going to develop mental health issues. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that is being on social media for your business worth potentially risking your mental health? And that's what this video is all about, is highlighting the downsides, and that does mean talking about mental health that has been caused by social media activity. Finally, let's talk why the social in social media is dying. So this is completely anecdotal evidence, not just from my personal use of social media, but through my business use of social media, that I truly believe that the social aspect of social media is dying. So I'll make a point to you. Whenever I go onto my personal Facebook, I tend to see the same faces over and over again. And whilst I'll get some of my friends, and I've set it up so that I get definitive notifications when certain friends have posted because I want to keep up with what they're doing, as for everything else, I tend to just see the same kind of content creators over and over again. And this alludes back to my previous point about social media companies just want you to stay on social media so that then you'll click on adverts and then make them money. So this links back to in August 2022 when Meta announced that Facebook will be making a serious shift in their algorithm. Yeah, that's right. Another social media platform is changing their algorithm. What a surprise. So they're making the shift to what's called a recommendation-based model. And so that's always been the case for YouTube and TikTok, and it's done very well for them. And users have loved that way of experiencing content on that platform. And Instagram has been making this way over for the last few years now. It's caused quite a few disgruntlements in the community, saying that Instagram used to be a great place to keep up with what your friends are doing, but now that it's turning over to what actually makes the company the most money by keeping people on the platform for as long as possible, they're shifting over to this recommendation-based content on Facebook, and they're going to officially make the transition over on Instagram as well. So what does all this mean? So it means that you'll actually be seeing less of your mates and friends and family, and more of this specially curated content that is specific for you and a result of your habits on the social media platform. So what's going to happen is that you're going to be shown all the stuff that you have commented and engaged with in the past, and that is going to be the majority of what you are going to see, less of what you would see from your mates. So what does that mean for posting as your business on Facebook and Instagram in particular, but you can say the exact same thing for YouTube and TikTok? The easiest way to put it is that Facebook and Instagram are binning what they used to be known for in the past, where it was connecting with friends, and instead they're going to be replacing it with what is already popular at that time and mixing it with what you want to engage with in the first place. So this doesn't mean that your content won't ever be shown to people, but what it does mean is that you're going to be fighting against the content that's already popular, and it means that unless people are already engaging in your content, then Facebook and Instagram are not going to be pushing your content into other people's feeds. What it means, put simply, is that the steep hill has gotten steeper for organic growth on social media. All in all, this isn't really to put you off starting a social media or continuing your social media journey. But what it does mean is that I'm really trying to highlight the good and the bad, because at the moment you're probably seeing all the good stuff. You're seeing the 11,000 subscribers by Louise on YouTube, the thousands of subscribers and followers on Instagram for Matt and Anisha, and you're saying, oh, I can have that, I can get that. Well, what we don't see is all the downsides, all the hard work, all the negativity, all of the impact that people have on our mental health, and what we put in our own minds about our own image on social media. And so it's just really here to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into with social media. Yes, there are incredible highs, but they don't come without low lows. So if you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to see you around here more often. Leave a comment. I would love to hear what you think. If you like this kind of thing as well, you will love our weekly newsletter called The Hustle, which you can subscribe to down in the description below. The best business and marketing advice and practical lessons for you every single week in 30 words or less. If you're a working osteopath, you will love our quiz, where you'll be able to diagnose your entire business to really have a laser focus on what you need to improve on in less than 20 minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.